is the women that keep coming after me or messaging me, they don't like the idea of me or anybody else trying to shed light on bad behavior.
That's his whole platform. Twofold. Gaslight women into believing that women are the problem, and then to pander to men to absolve men of any responsibility.
Men will choose or not choose a woman based on behaviors or things that they can change, things that are in their control. Yet women almost always date or not date a man based on things he can't control. And you see it all the time.
I'm supposed to believe that the people who we collectively say are visual creatures, men, are choosing women based on their character, and women are choosing men based on how they look. You want to see a full-blown narcissistic rant? Look no further than this. This is quintessential gaslighting. This guy is like a top-tier gaslighter. You know, he's a Darvo enthusiast. He loves Darvo tactics. This is pretty much Darvo. If you ever want to know what Darvo looks like, this is it. I'm always curious to figure out, like, where do men get this audacity from? Where do we get it from? Like, where is it coming from? And I mean, obviously it's coming from the system, but it's just funny. It's just really funny and also scary to think that these people are walking among us this misinformed. And I won't even say misinformed, literally just lying through his teeth. But the number of contradictions that happen is crazy. It's like contradiction after contradiction after contradiction.
At least weekly, I get multiple messages from women who basically just come after me for my content, come after me for my opinions on things, especially the dating market, dating dynamics. And if I just sit back and read all these messages or emails or what have you, or comments, there's always this reoccurring theme, this reoccurring complaint. And what it boils down to is the women that keep coming after me or messaging me, they don't like the idea of me or anybody else trying to shed light on bad behavior. That's it.
So right off the bat, he is deflecting. That's all it is. Men are just trying to shed light on bad behavior, right? It's deny. That's all he's trying to do. He's denying what he is actually doing. What he's actually doing is trying to gaslight women into believing that they're the problem, and then also pander to men. That's, and tell men that they are the victims. That's what he's doing, right? That's his whole platform. Twofold. Gaslight women into believing that women are the problem, and then to pander to men to absolve men of any responsibility for any of the problems that exist.
All it comes down to. At the end of the day, it's almost like a lot of these women want this power dynamic to just completely shift. Like, they like the idea of the power they seemingly have on the dating apps, how trashy our popular culture has become, and how much women have been given the spotlight, how much they've been given a bullhorn to put men down for things that they don't control.
Now, I want to say something about the whole idea that women have this perceived power on dating apps. So, most women aren't on dating apps, first and foremost. Most women probably have tried dating apps. Most, single women or women between certain age groups or whatever. Most women have tried dating apps. I will not deny that for sure. But most women aren't actively on dating apps right now. Only about 30% of the people on dating apps are women. So you got 70% men, 30% women. But remember his statement that women have this perceived power on dating apps. He specifically said dating apps, right? And it's not just on dating apps, but that was one example. Here's what I want to understand. I want you to explain this to me. Why wouldn't there be more women on dating apps if women have all of this power? No, that's one question. The other question is, why are there so many more men on dating apps if men don't have any power or as much power as women? Do you see how those two things make zero sense? Wouldn't it be the opposite? Wouldn't you go naturally, just human nature, right? I have power, I have influence, I have a voice, I have control, whatever, but you stay away from that. And then the people who are victimized by that the most, that's where they go. That just doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. Logically, it would make more sense that men have all of this power on the dating apps and women have little to no power, because the power would be in the options that are available to choose from. That's the power, right? The power that women want is to choose decent men. That's the power they want. That's what they're looking to do on the dating apps. The reality is most men aren't decent on the dating apps or in real life, but specifically on the dating apps. The women don't actually get their needs addressed because most of the men are so shitty, and the dating apps, to be honest, can't really control for that. They can't, to some mitigating degree, but overall, the dating apps can't really control for shitty men. If I don't know, maybe they could. I don't know how they would be able to do that. So I can't blame the dating apps. I have to blame the character of men, right? So if the men are shitty, the women want good men, but most of the men on the apps are shitty and playing games, then what power do women have? They don't. They don't have any fucking power. The men, however, I know it's 70-30, but the men have a pool of women to choose from. And that's all the men want. They just want to have some access to women. So that's what they have. They have access to women, and they have the power to manipulate women. That's their power. Their power is to manipulate women. The app can't stop them, and women can't stop them. The only power women have is to stay off the dating apps, which they are doing. So that proves or disproves what this dude is saying right off the bat.
Like, you guys know, I've talked about this in an old video way before this channel ever had any traction. I talked about how if you look at most men and women across the board, any walk of life, any look, any culture, anything, if you look at their preferences on dating or not dating somebody, most of the time, the majority of the time, men will choose or not choose a woman based on behaviors or things that they can change, things that are in their control. Yet women almost always date or not date a man based on things he can't control. And you see it all the time.
So the way that I'm interpreting that, and you guys let me know, because I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it sounds like he's talking about looks. He's saying that women date men based on things they can't control. So you're talking about looks, height, looks, something physical, because you can't really control the way you look outside of, I guess, your body weight to some extent, right? So he's talking about looks clearly, because you can control how much education you have, which means that you could also kind of control how much money you make. And I say that because I say kind of because everybody can be wealthy, everybody can be rich, everybody, you know what I mean? And not everybody even wants to be all of those things. But you can, if you can get on a dating app, then you probably can work on yourself. You know, you can make yourself into the best version of yourself, I would say, you know? So I'm supposed to believe that the people who we collectively say are visual creatures, men, are choosing women based on their character, and women are choosing men based on how they look. What do you call that? What part of Darvo is that? Reverse victim. So that's the reverse victim part of Darvo. So we're on reverse victim, right? Okay.
You see it all the time with the toxic women that have ridiculous demands in every way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of that is just very narcissistic, toxic women that like this thrill they get out of putting men down, this power they feel for turning guys down, this sense of, strength and, one upness over all the men that they see
Women have this perceived power, and their power is to deny men. That's what he's saying. That's essentially what he's talking about, because that's all women really can do is just deny men and stay away from men. Men have this real power of manipulation and this desire to manipulate. That's one part of it. And men have the power to harm women physically, right? What again, I'm trying to figure out, how are these two things the same? Would you rather, if you had to compare the two, would you rather a person use you for your body, use you for your money, use you for your time, whatever the case may be, right? Abuse you, things of that nature? Or would you rather a person just deny you flat out, even if they laugh at you or whatever, but just flat out deny you? I would choose the latter. I would choose just getting flat out denied. You haven't hurt me. Denied? Whatever. I don't care what you say. You don't know me. Haven't hurt me at all. I don't want to be used for my body, though. I don't want somebody to say that they like me and they want to be in a committed relationship with me just so they can sleep with me. But that's what men do to women, right? Okay.
That are in the dating market. I mean, that's a level of toxic that's almost like unable to be registered. Like to have this many women that think this way, it's almost scary. You know, you think to yourself, how can this many women get excited about standing on their soapbox, using their social media, they're posting videos and content and leaving comments, just standing on their soapbox, getting a thrill out of trying to belittle men and just talk about how no men are good enough. And what frustrates me the most, and what a lot of women speak out against when they come after me, is the point that I always make on, I hate how our society has just opened the door so much on what we consider a hot woman, a pretty woman. Like with popular culture embracing overweight women, I mean, every girl now says she's a baddie. Every girl now is told by her peers that she's a baddie, she's a 10, she's just perfect and flawless and priceless. But at the same time, we are just shrinking the window so much on what's considered a good man, a handsome man, a successful man. I mean, the numbers people throw around, men and women alike. I see people talking about, you need to make 250,000 a year, 500,000. Like,
Nobody is saying that, by the way. But let's go back. So remember what he said in the beginning, that women are denying men based on things that men can't control. Men are choosing women based on their character. But what is he talking about right now when he's talking about women? Their looks. Oh, these women just they think they're so attractive. We're expanding the scope of what a baddie is. Who? Men are doing that. Who is we? Men aren't doing that. What are you talking about? So we're expanding the scope of what a baddie is. We're not expanding the scope. They're just a bunch of baddies out there. There always have been. That's the thing, dummy. Most women are attractive to me. Most women are attractive. Oh, but shocker, right? Most women are attractive. Yeah. Conventionally, I mean, like just generally speaking, most women are attractive. Okay. So, but to take it back, he started off by saying that women choose men based on, women deny men based on their physical attributes, or aka things that they can't change, and men are choosing women based on their character. Have you guys mentioned anything about have you guys heard him mention anything about a woman's character yet? The behaviors of women yet at all? No, right? He just talked about women having baggage, but not their actual. What does that mean? What's the behavior? The baggage is the trauma that they suffered at the hands of men. That's not you know what I mean? Like, that's not women's behavior. What baggage are you talking about? It's something completely different. Again, contradicting himself.
I see people saying this now over and over and over, to where young men are like absorbing this and accepting this as gospel truth. You got good men out here that have respectable jobs, that are relatively handsome, and don't think they are worth a damn. They look at overweight women with tons of baggage and that look average even with all their makeup on. They look at women like that as above them now.
He is the people that are saying you got to make $250,000 a year and then telling the men that all women want is money are older men. Older men are telling younger men, yeah, these young girls don't really want you. Leave them to me. Leave the younger women for us. They don't want y'all. They want us. They want a silver fox that can pay all their bills. The older men are trying to destroy the younger men's access to the women their age. That's the only people that's talking about that. I've never heard a woman ever say, I won't be with a man unless he makes $250,000 a year. Not even Ebony K. Williams said that. She just said, I wouldn't be with a bus driver. I never heard a woman say, I won't be with a man that only makes $250,000, or I'm sorry, that makes no less than $250,000 a year. Damn sure not no $500,000 a year. But the people who talk like that in that vein are men. They tell other men, younger men, that that's all women want.
And I'm not trying to bash you, ladies. I love you, but it's the truth. There's a level of sickness right now in our society with women that are enjoying this inflated sense of this inflated value they have because of the twisted norms. One of the main reasons why the dating market and marriage and stuff are failing so much, it's just our popular culture. It is the sickness, the way of thinking that has infiltrated men and women's brains. Most women today, they rate themselves far, far higher than they should. And most men rate themselves far, far lower than they should.
That's actually scientifically false. That is scientifically false, like categorically false. Now, I don't get into the ratings. I don't do the like she's a 5, he's a 7 shit. I might do it jokingly. I never do it, to be honest with you. I don't believe it. I think it's stupid. But when we talk about, like, for an example, if you ask a woman, women second guess themselves more than men do. Let me put it like that. So that's just wrong, scientifically speaking. But when we talk about like intelligence, if you ask a woman what does she thinks her intelligence level is, she'll say lower than what it really is. And a man, if you ask a man, he'll say higher than what his really is. Men inflate themselves, women deflate themselves. Women shrink themselves, men inflate themselves. Everybody knows that. That is not a fucking liar. Everybody knows that. That's not a liar, right? So that's wrong. That's also false about men and women. Women don't need to lie about their worth. Men know how much women are worth. We know it. That's why your whole platform is trying to shame them and neg them, because you know how valuable they really are.
Ask anybody. That's a fact. You can take 100 men from any walk of life, any look, anything. Most of them are going to rate themselves reasonably, right? You can take 100 women from any walk of life, any look, and most of them are going to rate themselves far higher than they really are. And we just have, with social media and stuff now, we just have masses and masses that are just twisted. So many women now just enjoy this thrill of hijacking these talking points like height and top earners. Like, they hijack these talking points and just pump out videos and leave comments and just do street interviews and post.
That's what men do. Again, we're still in the reverse victim, right? That's what men do. That's what men do. Men do the street interviews, like that one idiot that's like always in Miami, and he looks like Josie Altador, and he's like always asking. He has like the Canadian accent, the black dude. He is the most annoying fucking street interview I've ever seen. But he used to get like normal people, and now he almost never does, because everybody knows him and they just know he's gonna ask him a bunch of stupid ass questions. And it's always like some douchebag, fucking Floridian, Miamian, guy with like, 40-year-old fucking dude with the fucking chest hairs out, wearing shades at night, holding a designer bag. Then he's standing next to some 22-year-old fucking college dropout woman. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, just saying like the most like misogynistic, machismo bullshit about men and women dynamics and gender roles. And, and she's sitting there like, yes, daddy. Like, it's all fake. It's all made up. That's what you see. Where are the women doing that at? Talking about high earners. That's men that pump that out. And then when he does get a normal couple and they're like, oh no, yeah, I've seen interviews before where the couple will be like, yeah, I work, he works, I made more money, he's made more money. And then he'll try to ask him like leading questions and be like, but does that make you feel like less of a man that your wife makes more money? Like, just weird shit like that. And the dude is like, no. we've been married for like 20 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is hilarious, dude. This is pure projection bullshit.
Like they are now just championing those talking points and just bullhorning those talking points to make most men that are pretty handsome, that are average, like average guys
This dude wants to fuck men. I'm pretty sure he's so attracted to men. It's ridiculous.
to slightly above average guys, just getting a thrill out of making them think they aren't enough for any woman. It's so toxic. It really is. It's so toxic. And it's sad to me that this many women in our society are this toxic. Like that is really sad, you know? And again, like I always say, at the end of the day, women are going to lose. Like a lot of these women are going to be so sad in the future. And that breaks my heart. You know, people come after me for making these videos and they try to paint me as something that I'm not. But at the end of the day, like a lot of these girls out here that are just rejecting every man and thinking they're above men that they are not above, like those women are going to be so sad in the future.
Listen, the only thing he has been able to say about women this whole time is that they are just denying men access. That's all he's been saying. They haven't done anything. They're not. How is that toxic? Because they just are denying men.
And it sucks, man. It really does. A lot of them would make, you know, a lot of them, let me not say would, a lot of them could make.
He had to catch himself. He couldn't even say a lot of them would make, because then he would catch. That's contradictory because he's saying all these women are so shitty. He's such a pander. His whole page is made for two reasons: to gaslight women into being in relationships with the average men, and then to pander to men to convince men that they're not the problem.
Good partners, good wives, good mothers, but they've sold their souls to the devil, you know? They've sold their souls to garbage culture. And it's so rare to find a woman now that agrees with even remotely traditional, classy ways of thinking. Like, you guys realize how rare that is? And most of the ones that say they do are faking it. They're faking it. How did we get to a point we have so many broken homes like this? How did we?
Because men abandon their children.
Get to a point where the vast majority of the women in our society are all just from broken homes. They value garbage. Quality, respect is invisible to them. It turns them off. What a weird time to be alive. What a weird time to be a man and try to date. Because as a man, I've said this and many people have said this.
It's a weird time for men to date because they don't have as much power as they used to. That's why it's weird for him.
If you do the right things, like if you focus on what everyone talks about, money, muscles, game. And I mean, I went out to eat the other night with the bros, and one of the.
Listen to this shit. Listen to how he is about. This is about to be the craziest contradiction of the whole video.
I mean, I went out to eat the other night with the bros, and one of the waitresses at the restaurant we're at, pretty girl, she was there off the clock with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend looks awful. You know, God bless him. Like, fist bump to him for getting this chick, right? But you look at them and you go, this is weird. A lot of these women are dating guys that are traditionally very unattractive and don't have anything going. And from my research and from what I hear and see, a lot of that is because these toxic women want a man that can play the role of a partner in whatever way she wants or needs him to, but she can get away with the stuff that a, you know, more self-respecting man.
Hold on. Hold on. So remember in the beginning, it was these women are denying men access based on how they look. That's what he was saying, right? Now it's all these women are dating ugly men because these ugly men are allowing the women to run over them. That's what he's trying to make. But really, because he kind of fucked up at the beginning, they just want partners. He was right. The women just want partners, and they don't care if a man's attractive. Also, they don't care about what the man has going for him. Remember, he was trying to sell us on all these videos of these women talking about $250,000, $500,000 earners. He just said that these are ugly, broke men. They don't have anything going for themselves. The contradictions abound.
And with options isn't going to put up with that, you know? So a lot of these girls are thinking ahead. They're making these business moves, right? They're thinking of this like a business. What's best for me? How can I maximize the benefits I get out of having a partner and still maximize my freedom with like my sexual market value and the attention I get and stepping outside of the relationship? They're probably in some kind of an open relationship. I wouldn't be surprised if she's still getting, you know, turned out by Chads or what have you. I don't know, man.
So again, she is in a relationship with the ugly broke guy, but she's still getting fucked by Chads. He knows his market. He knows his market. He is targeting the middle average, in his mind, the average man that's attractive. And you hear him pandering a bunch of times in that video, like, there's a bunch of guys out here that are attractive. Like, since when wouldn't that be considered homosexual? Like, that's weird as fuck.
It's just a weird time, and it's sad. I think that we've lost the plot. Like we're off the rails right now as far as dating goes. Like men and women alike, we're just off the rails. Nobody trusts. Everybody's like fighting for leverage now, and wait 5 minutes to text back because you don't want to look desperate, and give it 24 hours. And I'm like, man, there's just so much.
We've been doing that shit since I was a kid, bro. Since we were kids, we look about the same age. Don't call her back right away. Wait one day. That's like a known thing. Everybody, I don't want to appear too desperate. We've been doing that forever.
There's so much overthinking that goes into this now. You almost have to be manipulative to like jockey for position. And again, a lot of that is women that are trying to act like men. Women that aren't acting feminine. They're acting very masculine. And in order for that polarity to be there, most men have to be very strategic. They have to almost act toxic in order to.
You are contradicting yourself. You keep saying, you just said that she is just allowing the beautiful women are getting with the simps, the soft guys, the soy boys, the ugly soy boys that have nothing going for themselves. Like, what the hell, dude? This shit, how can you even listen to this jumbled, convoluted nonsense as a person, as a man, and like try to make any sense of this? This is how y'all minds work. You guys, your minds are constipated, and that's why you can listen to this drivel. This is lunacy. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know how you guys could ever find this appealing. Ever. He just says a bunch of buzzwords and platitudes and stuff. All this toxic culture. What about the culture is toxic? No specifics. Oh, the men want these behaviors. What behaviors are men looking for in women? The hell are you even talking about?